What's going on, everybody? So as you've seen from the title and intro, I'm now at GP Transco. So this video is going to be about the onboarding process, my recruiter, orientation, and my first paycheck. So at the timing of this video, I've been here technically 2 weeks, because I went through orientation in my first week, put out my last video that weekend while I did my 34, and then started this new week, ran through the week. Now it's the weekend, I'm doing my 34 again, and here's my report on the first week, now that I've gotten paid and got my full settlement details. So when you see, as you see these videos, they will be a week behind of what's current. But anyway, this pay period was from December 1st to December 7th. So if you watched long enough in my last video, I know that was a long one. I'm gonna try to talk faster in this one and get through it a lot quicker. I apologize. I'm trying to get better about how I talk. Hopefully I won't talk too fast. But anyway, if you watched long enough through my last video, you know how Big G done me as far as leaving. I tried to do the right thing and give a notice. Turned out you don't do that with Big G, because they will screw you over. But my fleet manager, John Alvarez, huge shout out to him. He was there with me every step of the way. I told him everything that Big G was saying to me, what they were doing, what they were saying. He knew what they were trying to pull over on me. He talked to HR, his boss. He talked to all the people above him, told them what was going on. They decided to go ahead and hire me anyway, and then worked with me about getting a rental car. Because of how things went, the back and forth between me and Big G, me having to go back and forth with John, I ended up, and it being the weekend of Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving was Thursday, I was trying to get a rental car Saturday. That was a huge mistake. Can't get a rental car on a holiday weekend, apparently. GP goes through Enterprise Friday and Saturday. They did not have a car available that I could use. Orientation was supposed to start on Monday. So instead of making me wait a whole nother week, they said, okay, we're going to get you a rental car Monday morning, drive up, get here Monday night, come in on Tuesday for this, and we'll do your orientation backwards. So I got up there to Juliet, Illinois. I want to say Carlton Hotel. Don't quote me on that. It could have been a different name. That's what's popping in my head. But anyway, I got to a hotel. It was It ain't the Hilton, it ain't fancy, but it ain't a shithole either. I mean, it was a decent hotel. I had no complaints. And you're only there one night. It is a single bunk room. You're not sharing a room with nobody. You get your own room to yourself. First day of orientation, they assign you your truck. That's if you get there on Monday. Then Monday night, you stay in your truck. You come back in Tuesday morning, do your second day of orientation. You get everything you need to get rolling. And then Wednesday morning, you're going to get your first load. With me, it was a special case because I wasn't able to get there till Monday night. So Monday night, I stayed at the hotel. Came in Tuesday, sat through day 2 of orientation, which was pretty much going over safety, policies, the ELD tablet, how they do their logs. They use Samsara here. If you've ever used that before, then you know how it works. If not, it's pretty cool the way it works. If you went through a company orientation before, you can kind of guess how it all went. It's pretty much the same everywhere. They did not have a truck ready for me by the end of day 1. So at the end of day 1, everybody else was done. They had their trucks. They were getting ready to go out the next day. They didn't have a truck ready for me, so I had to stay at the hotel one more night, which they paid for an Uber to get me from the terminal to the hotel and back to the terminal the next morning. I didn't have to pay for that. I didn't have to pay it back out of my check. They covered it. Oh, and they provide lunch during orientation. It seems like they get the same thing every day. So you're gonna have Jimmy John's 2 days in a row for lunch. Stayed at the hotel second night, came back, did my second day of orientation, which was kind of cool because since everybody else was gone, the guy doing the orientation, Mike, he was a really cool guy, easy to talk to. I had to do a road test the second day, which is pretty much you go out for about 15-20 minutes, drive around, show them, you know, how to take turns, you know how to do, I mean, you can operate the truck. You come back. He had me do 3 backing maneuvers. I did a 45 all 3 times. I mean, you got to think it's like 20 something degrees outside. So he said he had me do 3 backing maneuvers just so he didn't have to do backing training with me. Did fine on all 3, and that was it. We went and dropped the trailer, drove the truck up back next to the terminal, and that was that. Then we did a one-on-one thing, which was cool because as he was talking about the company, procedures, stuff like that, I was able to ask him all the questions I wanted to without slowing us down too much. So that part was pretty cool. So that was Wednesday. By the end of the day Wednesday, I had my truck. It's a 2024 Freightliner, all digital dash, so it's got a tablet in it too. It's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so you can connect your phone, Bluetooth to the truck, listen to music. You can make calls on it, but unless you're parked and the engine's off, it's pointless because they're not going to hear you. You can hear them through the speakers, but they're not going to hear you over the sound of the truck going down the road. But so the end of Wednesday, I got my truck. got moved into it, and then Thursday morning is when I started running loads. Their pay period goes from Sunday 12:01 a.m. to Saturday midnight. Now the cool thing that they do, they will run the shit out of you Monday through Saturday. They like you to run anywhere between 8.5 to 10 hours a day. That's what they expect from you. They tell you this in orientation. They expect you to run 8.5 to 10 hours a day. They use up the 70-hour clock Monday through Saturday. Saturday, when you shut down, you start a 34. And then Monday, you have a fresh 70, and it starts over again. So far, I've only had one load here that was under 500 miles. They majority do long hauls. They stick to the Midwest. They technically are a all 48 state company, but 95% of the time they stick to the Midwest and eastern part of the country. They do go out west, but it's not that often. Or that's how they explained it to us in orientation. Here's a cool thing that I like. Since I started Thursday instead of Wednesday, I lost a day of running. I picked up a load Thursday, it delivered Friday. I picked up a load Friday that didn't deliver until Monday. Now at first, because this is a thing they didn't tell me. Now I wasn't there Monday. They could have explained this Monday and I not heard it, but it wasn't told to me. They split miles on loads, meaning the load I got Friday was 1,000-mile load, so I drove the rest of Friday, all of Saturday, parked Saturday, took my 34 and delivered it Monday. Now I'm kind of freaking out because the first load I got was like a 300-mile load. Now I thought that was all I was going to get on my first check, because with that not delivering until Monday, every other company I've ever worked for, that would have cut off. Like, I would have got that 1,000-mile load on the next check, and all I would have had was that little 300-mile load for this check. What they did was took the miles I ran Friday and Saturday on the 1,000-mile load, attached that to my first paycheck, and then the 400 and something miles I had left over to run Monday to deliver it, they put that on next check. So I ended up getting 1,000 miles on my very first check, running Thursday to Saturday. I really liked that part of it. So every mile you run, pay from the start of the pay period to the end of the pay period, every mile you run in that week, you get paid for. They pay you by the mile, not by the load. So I did those two loads. It was 1,000 miles for the week. Did my 34 and started Monday, delivered that load and started the new week. Overall, so far I am loving it here. My fleet manager is awesome. So the way the fleet managers work here, they gave me, she sent me over the load information, and she didn't just throw me out to the wolves and say, there you go. She called me, made sure I was ready to roll. I told her yeah. She told me the fact that if the pickup or delivery had an open window, if like we can get here at this time to pick up or deliver. She told me about my fuel stop. I mean, she broke down the trip, how the best way to go about doing it. And when I do my usual trip planning, I looked at it from how she said it and seen that really, I mean, what she told me was right and made sense. So made my trip planning a hell of a lot quicker and easier. And I was completely set up and ready to go as soon as I left the terminal to go pick the load up. I knew everything ahead of time, which is something you don't get at other companies. They do not micromanage here, but at the same time, they're gonna protect themselves. I mean, put yourself in a company mindset. You're hiring somebody you don't know. You're putting them behind the wheel of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Put a load on their back. Now you're talking maybe up to $1 million in their hands and trusting them to take it down the road. I mean, every trucking company is big on safety. GP is no different. They expect you to be safe, and they monitor what you're doing, I would say, no more or no less than any other company. I mean, you take Prime, for example. They are now making it mandatory for every truck to have an inward-facing camera, like it or not. GP gives you the choice. That's another thing about pay. You have two choices. They told me with where I lived, my start out pay would be 57 cents per mile with the driver facing camera. If you opt out of the driver facing camera, they cut you 2 cents. At least they're giving you the option. Prime don't have a choice. Like it or not, here's your camera. Don't use it, you're out. If the pay is more important to you than the camera, get the camera. You get 2 more cents per mile. If not having a camera stare at you is more important, opt out of it, like I did. Raises. Every 6 months, you get a one. Now, this is based on safety and production. As long as you're not being late on pickup and deliveries, as long as you're not doing anything unsafe, you don't have any accidents, no major deals, every 6 months you get a 1 cent raise. Now, I've heard 2 different stories on top pay. I have to clarify this with somebody. Recruiter said there is no top pay. He worded it, the longer you stay, the more you make. So 2 cent pay increase every year you work here. The guy in orientation said there is a top pay around 65 cent or 67 cent, something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up before it gets too awfully long. I'm gonna put in a clip here towards the end. It's going to show you my settlement. Transparency here is key. I want you to know that I'm being honest with you. I'm showing you, I'm telling you and showing you the numbers. And for now, until I can get me a GoPro, it's just going to be me kind of walking you through my weeks, showing you my settlement, and basically this format right here. Once I can get a GoPro, I'm going to try to do time-lapse videos of me driving, maybe talking through those a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know anything you want to know, any content you want to see. And I will catch y'all next week to let you know how week 2 went. Take care and be safe. Okay, so we're going to break down week 1 at GP Transco. Now, there's a little tomfoolery going on with this, what you see on the screen. There's a couple things that's not included in this. My first load, which was Rochelle, Illinois to Charlton, Iowa, it says, if you look, it says 0 on empty miles. Well, that wasn't true. For some reason, the way my fleet manager described it to me, this happens to everybody on their first load. It doesn't register their first empty miles to go from the headquarters to pick up their first load. They have to enter that manually. So, but if you look up Juliet, Illinois to Rochelle, Illinois, you'll see that it's about 90 miles. So I did the math myself, or a calculator did it for me, I should say. But she tacked on 89.62 miles. So we take the 964.2 that's here, because the second load was from Ankeny, Iowa to Wilmington, Delaware, which was 62.4 empty miles and 688.3 loaded miles, plus the first load, 276 loaded miles. This is showing I had a total of 964.2 miles. But if we leave it like that, this math down here doesn't make sense. For total taxable total earnings and total earnings, it doesn't add up, because I make 55 cents per mile. So if we break it down like I did, do the math, I actually did on this first load 89.62 empty miles. So when we add that into the total miles, that is 1,053.82 miles I did for the first week. So off of 1,053.82 miles plus $200 for 2 days of orientation, that gives us the total earnings of $641.60 plus $138 per diem. Total earnings $779.60. So we go down to deductions. I got $100 cash advance to be able to eat on for the week. And then your regular state and federal withholdings. So Carolina trucker, now you know for which Carolina I'm from, North Carolina. So total settlement, what I brought home after everything was $570.70. So that was my first week at GP Transco.